Oh my god, hi. We're doing a holiday makeup tutorial. I feel like I haven't done one in like 35 years. I don't know why. I can't remember the last one that I did. But I want to do like a glam one, like a super glam one. And the cool part is all of this is drugstore. Everything is drugstore. So I'm actually going to start off with the eyes, but I'm going to be using a lip stain because I want to do a red lip. Okay, that doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to do a red lip stain to begin with, and I want this to sit for as long as possible. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to blot my lips. I have a little bit of lip balm on. Let me just put this hair behind my ears because like it's giving George Washington. Like I feel like it's giving more George Washington. Can't wait to cut it off. I can't. Oh. So I'm going to blot my lips. I wanted to make sure that they were like well hydrated. But you want to make sure that they're nice and clean before applying any kind of a stain. So I'm going to be using my like favorite, this is just like one of my favorite lip stains in general. This is from Milani. I never remember what it's called. Oh, Color Fetish. It's the Color Fetish lip stain, and this is in the shade 150. That's Fire, aptly named. I'm just gonna do, this is gonna be just basically like a base, and we're gonna do some like contouring on top of it. Like it's gonna be a legit lip, okay? I can't talk to you while I do this. Ziva's eating her food. So I like to go like just outside my lip line. And this is a really, this is a really nice hydrating formula. So unlike like the Sachu, is that how you pronounce it? Lip stains that like dry out. And I know that they're quick, so that's not like they're, you know, drying out your lips for a super long time, but this just kind of sits on your lip. And you can just wear it like this glossy or whatever, but I just like want to use this as a base. So it creates a nice hydrated base. I don't know why I keep trying to talk to you while I do this. You do just want to be careful when you're applying your lip stains, because wherever it goes, it's going to stain, you know? Okay, cool. So that's going to sit while we do the eyes. Okay, I'm kind of cheating again because I want to wear an under eye patch, and I don't have any that are drugstore, but like you can find them in the drugstore. So like, don't be mad at me. But I am going to be using the one from Summer Fridays just because it's what I have. It's like right here, you know what I mean? Anyway, you don't even need to do this, but like since I'm going to do my eyes first, why not like hydrate the under eyes, you know what I mean? Plus it's blue, so it like goes with my background. I never know if it's like the fat part or the thin part that should go in the front. I feel like that fits my under, well, however it fits your under eye is good. And I'm leaving a little bit of space because I want to make sure that like this area where I'm going to be putting a lot of concealer is nice and hydrated, but I'm going to be starting off with my lower lash line, which is something that I used to do like all the time. And I haven't done it in a really long time. Okay, so I'm starting with my lower lash line because I want to get smoky. I want to do like a classic Alex, like old school Alex smoky eye. Like this is going to be glam, all right? So like we're not, this isn't going to be like, I don't know. I just feel like I've been neglecting my under eyes in general recently. So I'm actually going to start off, I'm going to start off with a little bit of the Milani eyeshadow primer, which has just like a little bit of pigment in it. And I just want to, if I'm using it on the top, I want to make sure that I'm sort of like blocking everything out. So it's kind of like a moussey formula. I'm just going to pick up this using my BK Beauty 210 brush. Kind of work that into the brush, and then I'm just going to buff it along the lower lash line, especially in this area right in here where I have creases. I've noticed that as I get older, my eyeshadow tends to crease there more so, which is very obnoxious. So you're not even going to really see this, but it's going to add like something for the eyeshadow to actually grip to, and it's actually quite smoothing. And while we're here, I might as well put this up on the upper lid as well. So I'm going to grab just a flat brush. This is the N24 from BK Beauty, part of Nikki's collab. I'm just gonna paint this all over the lid. Okay, so I'm actually going to start off in the waterline. So I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome eyeliner, which I've been wanting to use for a really long time. It's Wet n Wild, which is awesome. So it's like super affordable. This is in the shade Superstar Suit. And it's this really cool chrome liner. It's obviously green because holidays, but like it shifts kind of to like a deep blue, like cool toned bluish, like purple, like almost a deep periwinkle, but it has this like really cool green reflect in the top. So I'm going to place this in my waterline. This is going to look like surgery until it's finished. So just bear with me, okay? Whenever you start off with your eyes, and especially with like a lip stain on, things look crazy until they're done. So just trust the process, okay? So I'm placing this in my waterline, and then I'm gonna just drag like a teeny little bit of it, like just angling my liner down a little to drag it onto the lower lash line. If you're someone who can't tolerate like eyeliner in your waterline, what you can do is just kind of like line the lash line like thinly. You don't have to put it in your waterline, and then just use your eyeshadow to kind of like, you know, blend just underneath it. And it kind of gives you the illusion that you have something in your waterline without irritating your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go into the NYX Ultimate Paradise Shock color palette. What the fuck? It's this one, okay? I'm gonna start off with the darkest brown. So this matte brown right here. I don't know what the names are. They're like numbers. So who cares? If they're numbers, who cares? It's the dark brown one. You know what it is. And then using my Refer 02 brush, I'm going to dip into that. I'm going to buff this. I'm going to buff this just underneath that green, and I'm going to take it all the way in. Obviously keeping it a little thicker on the outer part of the eye. You don't have to be so like precious with this when you do your eyes first. That's the best part. I am just going to, like, while I'm looking straight into the mirror, just kind of like flick it out a little bit. I'm just starting to like create the shape. I'm just buffing that off, that brush off. And then I think I'm gonna dip into the e.l.f. Keep It Ethereal palette. This is a 10 shadow palette. I think I'm gonna grab this caramely color. I think I'm gonna tap actually between this and this because I wanna just like lighten it up a little bit. So it's kind of like a caramely brown and then a slightly more like peachy tan. And again, looking up, I'm just gonna buff this underneath that dark brown. So I don't want to cover up the brown, but I'm just going to kind of like buff into it a little bit, which is obviously going to soften, create a little bit more of an ombre effect. So we're getting smoky. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do to start off for the lower lash line. Before I go into my upper lash line, I just want to sketch out my brows a little bit. I like to have sort of like a border so I know like how far up to go. So I'm going to grab blonde. Yeah, I love this pencil. It's so crazy that it's blonde because it is caramel. Okay, it's not blonde, it's caramel. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in blonde. I'm going to use this to just shape the brows, and obviously my brows don't match my hair color right now. So this is going to make them orange, essentially. This process does use a lot of product. So if you don't want to go through product so quickly, like if you do your brows every single day and you like this technique, get yourself a brow powder that is a comparable shade. Because this definitely like I prefer a pencil, but damn, dude, does this waste product, like, truly. I look horrible right now. You have to trust the process. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love it. I love it so much. It's like surgery. We're doing triple bypass right now, okay? Triple bypass. So you gotta just like hold your breath and hope for the best. Okay, I'm just gonna gently brush that through a little to soften it ever so slightly, but I don't want to take it outside of those lines because again, this is meant to be kind of a guide. So I don't want them to get like too blown out. I have a new bald patch in my eyebrow. Do you see that right there? What? Like, I don't know where it came from. And when I like brush the hairs up, it doesn't really like help. Like you can still see it. And that's rude, basically. It's rude. I don't, okay. That's gone forever. Yeah, it's rude and I don't like it. And so is this slipping. That's also rude. Okay, so for the brow bone, just because there's like some colors going on, I'm going to just take a teeny bit of concealer. I'm going to use a little bit of my L'Oreal Infallible just because it's sitting right here. This is in the shade Eggshell. It's a crazy noise. Just like any brush, doesn't matter. It's like literally taking the tiniest little amount, really working it into the brush. I'm just going to use that to kind of cancel out the upper veins. Because I'm gonna use a cream base for the lid, but I'm not gonna take it up all the way. So I want this to be super glam. Like I want this to be flawless. Okay. Then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the NYX Mineral Matte Finishing Powder. This is in the shade Light Medium. Oh my god. I'm just using that same brush. I'm just gonna pick up like a teeny tiny bit of powder. Work it into my hand. That was actually not a teeny tiny bit, that was a lot. And I'm just going to gently set above the crease since we went in with concealer so that that blends nice. Now we're really putting the O2 to work. I'm using that same brush and I'm going to go back into the e.l.f. palette. I'm going to pick up the Caramely shade, focusing that on the tip of the brush. So just doot 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 doot. Okay, the camera doesn't want to focus, so you understand what I'm doing. You understand. And I'm going to use this to kind of like carve out just above the crease. So again, just laying in this shape. So I'm going to take it like in here. And since I have this fold, I'm going just above it. If you have, if you have hooded eyes, this really isn't a look for you. So I love you so much. I love you so much. I'm sending you so much love, but these kinds of like gigantic looks are not for hooded eyes. And it's probably a little too much for round eyes. And if you have like already a sculpted eye socket, depending on how like deep it is, you might not even need to like do this part. You could just do like a soft sort of fill in the crease. Okay, so I'm gonna start off like that. I have like 3 or 4 different makeup photos that I found that I was like, oh, what do I want to do for holiday? And I liked all of them, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pull all of these and then pull like my favorite parts from it. So I have quite a bit of inspo going right now. So we're not rounding this out, we're not flipping it up, we're just sort of like letting it straighten a little bit, but it's keeping it a little bit more lifted. And I'm probably going to really diffuse that later on. Okay, using that same brush, again, just wiping it off, I'm going to pick up the peachy kind of shade, whatever that is, like peachy tan. Focusing it a little bit flatter on the brush, and I'm going to turn my brush, and I'm going to use that to kind of soften that shade up towards the brow. And then just kind of like pulling up and out. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to take it out too far out here because we don't have our base on yet. So I usually like to keep it a little bit tighter. And then once I have my base on and I like have set with powder and everything, then I can go in and sort of like hit those details. But we just are sort of like softening and blending up, you know? Nice gradient. I think I want to like sharpen that up a little bit. I'm gonna grab the Refer 23 brush. Look at this little guy. It's the cutest little thing in the world. I love it so much. And I need a darker brown. So I'm gonna tap into the dark brown from the NYX palette. This little guy. Everything's a little guy. Just on the very tip of the brush. And I'm using like the smallest amount. Like I don't even know if you can see it. Like it's so little. And I'm just going to, right at the edge, use this to kind of deepen that up. And then fade it out. So I want it to be especially contrasty and clean right in here. Do that as much as I feel in my heart. I had a plan and I'm changing it slightly. So now I'm looking at all the things that I chose and I'm like, do I want to use that? I was going to use a cream eyeshadow base, but it's dark. It's darker than I like anticipate for this. I'm going to go back in with my concealer again, my L'Oreal concealer, just a teeny little bit with a flat brush. I'm going to use this one. I think it's from Sigma. Honestly, I think this is like a eye cream brush or something. It's from like their skincare line. I'm just going to take a teeny little bit on the edge of that. And just underneath, I'm going to sharpen up that line. And just fade it out. So just like right here, I want to like really crisp that up. And really lighten it so that there's that nice contrast. Remember, if you have skin that's like, you know, I was gonna say crepey. That's so like rude, but like looser, more delicate skin, like the older you are, it's just like, you know, how much this like moves. It's not as taut as it once was. Just use these patting motions to place down the product so that it's not sliding all over the place or you're not getting like skipping. And look down into your mirror. If you use like a mirror like this kind of situation, get yourself a hand mirror. It's so important. I'm literally like a lot of the time I'm looking in the monitor, like when I do my lower lashes, if I have to like look up, but you want to make sure that you're looking down into a mirror when you do your lids, okay? All right, now I want to go into some shimmer. Ooh, I guess I'll do a little bit of liner first. So I'm going to grab a black eyeliner. This is actually, I think this is waterproof. It is. It's the Essence liner, the Stay and Play gel liner in the shade Black Raven. So just a black eyeliner. But it's quite creamy and easy to blend. So because it's waterproof, I just want to like get my little blending brush ready to go. I'm going to use a brown one, like one that's already dirty and has brown on it. Because like whatever. I'm just going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to place this in the outer part of the eye. And then I'm immediately going to just press it into the lash line to soften that liner. Bunny, Ziva, you're so sweet. I can hear her, she plays with this ribbon like it's her favorite toy in the entire world. She'll jump up into this little like tray that we have on the coffee table and pull it out and like walk around with it crying because she wants to play. It's so cute. Ziva, I can't play. All right, I think that's all I'm gonna do with the eyeliner. I just want it to be like kind of a base for the eyeshadow so I can build on top of it, especially again because it is waterproof. You can use a kohl if you want to like move this around a little bit more, or you want to like create this shape with that mostly. I like having a really, really deep color like right here at the outer corner of the upper lid to sort of like act as a grounding base. No, yeah, I'll use a clean one. I'm gonna grab another 03 brush and I'm going to dip into the dark brown from the NYX palette again. I'm just gonna go over that to soften it. Not that it really needs to be set because it's waterproof, but if you're not using a waterproof eyeliner, this is a really good opportunity to set your liner. And then I'm going to just pull it up a little bit. And this you can go as far as you want for your eye shape. Again, my hooded eye people, you know, you can do this part, but you're gonna wanna like focus it more straight out. I'm just gonna do that for now. Softening towards the front. I think if you're a makeup beginner, this stage, like where everything looks like so undone and crazy and like kind of messy, like when I went in with that waterproof liner, just kind of looked like messy and horrible. I think that this, when you're a makeup beginner and you're just sort of starting and you don't really know what to expect, I think that that stage can be really like intimidating to people because they, you know, it's hard to, you don't know what it's going to end up like, and it looks crazy. So you're just like, oh my God, it's going to look so horrible. And a lot of people will just kind of quit. I've heard that from a few of you comments that you like are afraid to play because you get to this stage and you're just like, oh my God, like there's no way that this could possibly look good. And you just end up like washing it off or thinking you look like a clown or crazy or whatever. And I just would encourage you to continue and trust the process, because I promise you this is gonna look glam as fuck. Okay? In like the best way possible. Pinky swear. I don't know if that's even. I don't know if that's even. Oh, no! Oh my God, it was so good and then I like ruined it. See, things happen. And then I'm just gonna grab a little clean 03. I think this had a little concealer on it. Just to remove a little bit. See, it was chaos for like 2 minutes, but we fixed it. I'm gonna tap between the caramely shade and the tan shade again. With this is a Rephr 13 mini brush. And I'm gonna just like marry this area into that wing. And we'll finish that off once we have like the full face done, but I just kind of want to like, yeah, blend these so that it gets blurry here. Okay, I'm gonna take a clean brush, large brush. This is the Rephr 15. Just gonna buff around these edges a little bit to soften. I don't know what I want to use. I kind of want to like play into the green that's on the waterline a little bit. Like I was thinking initially just gold shimmer. But in the NYX palette, we have this really fun glittery shade that like kind of looks gold, but it's got some green in it. It's like a little bit more of a shift. Where can you see the colors? Can you see the difference? I'm trying to turn it so you can see the different colors. It is chromy. And I like that. I think it's nice. I'm gonna grab another Rephr 02 brush and I'm gonna pick up that NYX shade. And I'm actually, so I'm like really pressing into that. And then I'm actually going to take a little bit of the Milani Make It Last mist. I'm just gonna give it one gentle mist. And then I'm gonna press this all over the lid. I wanna keep it relatively sharp up here, which is why I misted it. Not just to like intensify the formula, but also to just kind of like really place those little shimmery bits down so that they're not going all over the place. And then blending down gently and fading towards the outer part. Isn't that pretty? I feel like that's nice. I might just build a teeny little, like I'm just gonna focus it on the tip. I'm gonna give it 2 mists. And I just want to intensify it on that edge. But I like the lid. I like that it's like a little more naked. Can you tell when my eyes are open and I'm looking at you? That's pretty, dude. I like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Do I want to do anything? You know what? I'm going to go in with that really dark brown and that tiny, tiny little brush again. The 23. Just a small amount. And I'm just going to go on that edge one more time. Just really make sure that there's that contrast. I'm gonna blot the lip. Ooh, very nice. Right? Okay, so we're nice and stained. Like that's quite a stain, right? It'll depend on your skin tone, and obviously I'm really pale, so like it really shows up on me, but it creates a really nice base. I'm gonna remove these little guys. Let's move on to the face. So horrifying. All right, so I'm gonna prime my face. I went in with my typical like toner and like skin milk situation to hydrate, but I just want to like add a little bit more. My skin's been feeling kind of dry. So I'm going to use the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer Primer Plush Pump. It's got too many names. It's got too many names, to be honest with you. But I just think this would be really nice. It's kind of a serum-y formula. It's pretty lightweight, which is nice. So I'm going to start with this underneath the eye, even though we just hydrated there. I'm going to take it on the forehead. And just pat it. My nose has been particularly dry, like my nostrils. So we'll look a little shiny for a second, but I need that extra hydration right now. For my foundation, I'm going to be using an oldie. This is the Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. It has squalane and hyaluronic acid. I don't know, who cares? 117. I think this is buff. I think 117 is buff. It might be like a little bit dark for me, but like whatever, we'll figure it out. Just wanted something light and luminescent. I'm gonna go in with a sponge that's damp, slightly damp. I'm gonna start off in the center of the face. Is this expired? You know when you have a bad pistachio? That's what this smells like. You know how the Revlon, I feel like the Revlon foundations and then also like the MAC foundations, they usually smell like paint, like fresh paint. This doesn't smell like that. It smells like a bad pistachio. Okay, so I think we're gonna pivot because I don't want to ruin my face. We're gonna pivot to, I don't want to remove that though because I don't want to like fuck everything up. We're gonna pivot to the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. 32-hour wear. I don't know if you guys saw my commercial that I did with L'Oreal. That was a really hard thing to remember to say. L'Oreal Paris. Wait, L'Oreal Infallible? I don't remember. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, this is the Fresh Wear Foundation with sunscreen, SPF 25. This is in the shade 411. Looks pretty similar to the Revlon one, like in terms of, it's a little bit more peachy, but in terms of value, it's like the same amount of like slightly too dark for my, okay. So I just pumped that the wrong way. I'm gonna go gather myself. Okay, I'm gathered. Pump on the hand. Yeah, it's definitely, this shade's a little too peachy. But that's okay because my foundation, I mean my concealers are a little bit more on the yellow side. This smells fine. It's been such a long time since I've done my eyes first. It feels like not used to this. This is such a beautiful foundation. It has really, really nice coverage and a beautiful finish, but it doesn't feel like heavy on the skin. It's the best when you find a full coverage foundation that doesn't feel like it's suffocating your skin, you know? I tend to prefer a more full coverage foundation, especially when I'm breaking out around my temples and my forehead, which I have been. Because those areas, for whatever reason, is just like, it's one of the hardest for me to cover. So if I can get like a good amount of coverage with the foundation, it makes spot concealing a lot easier. Gorgeous formula. Not the best color for me, but stunning. Stunning formula. All right. See if it just keeps coming in here to eat. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So let's do a little bit of, do I even have a color corrector over here, dude? Let's do contouring and bronzing first. So I'm actually going to bronze first. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Diamond Bronzer. I love this bronzer so much. This is in the shade Bronze Gem. It's really beautiful. It's dirty, so you can tell I like it. There's definitely cat hair in here, so you can really tell I like it. I'm obviously going to use my brush. Sorry, none of the brushes are drugstore, but not sorry. So I'm going to dip into this with the brush, and then I'm going to kind of like, it can be, I mean, it's a really nice blendy formula, but I want to make sure that I'm like coating my brush evenly, but I want to make sure that it's also like evenly distributed and soft. I just bashed myself in the face with the handle and took a little bit of foundation off my chin. I'm going to start off with my forehead. So I'm going to start off by just creating some nice warmth, a little bit of shaping. And I'm starting off with my bronzer so that I can do like the most with my bronzer so that I'm not doing too much with my contour basically. Because we have, this is like glam. This is a lot, all right? We're doing a full face of glam. Like look at the eyes right now. The lips are not finished, but look at the lips, you know what I mean? So I don't want the skin to be like too, like I'm not trying to be so 2016 despite the way that I might look right now. Yeah. So I want to kind of like rely a little bit more on warmth rather than like the insanely sculpted contour. That's not to say that we aren't going to contour. We absolutely are. That's not saying, wait, that makes sense, right? I think I said that right. I am very excited to go back to blonde, but I have to say that it is really nice to not be so precious around my hairline when I'm doing my bronzer. Like it is very, very nice. God, I love that bronzer so much. The color is really nice. Like when you first look at it, it kind of looks like there might be like a little bit too much red in it. Or when I first looked at it, I was like, yeah, it might be too terracotta for me, but I think it's actually quite nice. I might like legit contour the nose. I haven't decided yet. Now we're going to go into the contour. So I'm going to be using like my favorite contour in the entire world, which I literally just talked about in a video, but the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer in the shade Defined. Perfection. Same brush, just wiping it off. I'm going to pick it up. And if you don't contour your jawline, skip this part, but it's a necessity for me. I have been doing it differently though. It's like a slightly different technique depending on like what you're trying to achieve. But if you want me to make a dedicated video, I will. I'm just going to speed through it here. For my nose, I'm going to create a little custom color. So I'm going to put a little bit of my contour out on my hand. And I'm just going to mix it with my bronzer. And I am gonna like kind of contour my nose because like again we're doing glam, so I just want to like do the most, I guess. So I'm just mixing those together because the contour is like a little bit too cool toned for my nose, especially with my hair this color. So obviously if you don't contour your nose, you just skip this part. Doesn't matter. But I just did like a really, really gentle, like it's very, very light. And then as I'm just gonna let that sit for a second, like you can, I mean, you got some sharp lines on the nose, but I'm gonna soften those once I go in with my concealer. So I need a color corrector. I think for my color corrector, I'm just gonna use the yellow from LA Girl. This is the Pro Conceal in, I think just yellow. This is a Smith 233, but it's like basically equivalent to like a Refer 13. Like they're basically the exact same brush. I'm just gonna buff that yellow in to the brush, and then looking up, I'll place it in my dark circles. I don't want to take it up too far, obviously, because I have eyeshadow there. A little bit in the inner corner. Also a good opportunity to clean anything up. Okay. So I buffed that into the skin, and now I'm buffing off my brush, and I'm just gonna press into the skin. I lied, I'm buffing here because I want to blend. So just pressing, just pressing. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my concealer. I am looking kind of like orangey yellow right now. So actually I think this will be pretty good because it's a little bit more on the neutral side. So this is CoverGirl. I love this concealer. I think it's, yeah, Fair Porcelain. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this out on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use this to do some highlighting, which will balance things out since my face is a little dark right now. So I'm actually gonna use that same little brush, the Smith one. And I'm just gonna kind of like lay out where I wanna do the highlighting. So usually like right here, the forehead, you know, a little bit on the tip of the chin, a little bit on the like corner of the nose. Is this light enough? I think it'll be fine. I might mix a little white in with it. Yeah, I like to do like my nostrils and like right here. I am gonna mix a little bit of white. I have the LA Girl Pro Conceal corrector in white, or yeah, white. It should just be called, like if it's a corrector, it should just be called white. Yeah, like if it's yellow, it should just be called yellow. If it's orange, it should be called orange. So thank you, LA Girl, for actually doing that. So I'm just gonna mix a little, like kind of like 50-50, just to lighten it up so that I can brighten, really brighten the under eyes. And I'm not applying like a ton. It doesn't look like it. I changed my mind. It doesn't look like it. I think just in terms of like where I'm placing it, it might look like, you know, the triangle or whatever, but it's not that much. But I am taking it out here because I want to, like, we're doing glam. Shut up. Okay? Shut up about it. You shut up about it. Teeny bit at the corner of the mouth. Before I even blend that, you can really see like what it does. It like lifts the bottom corners of the mouth so much. And plus I get like quite a bit of darkness there. So it'll look a little bit crazy, but it's fine. I'm gonna place a little bit of it underneath, like right in there. And I'm actually gonna take a little bit more of that really light mixture and just put it right there. We're getting somewhere. All right? We're getting somewhere. It's coming together. I'm gonna use a sponge. So I'm gonna use my, I don't know what this is, the Sigma Wedge, like 3D Wedge or whatever. It's been sitting here for a while, so I'm just gonna re-mist it with my Milani mist. But I don't want it to be like so wet. I just want it to be rehydrated. I'm just gonna go in and do some blending. I told you it would come together, and you didn't believe me. At least I'm assuming that you didn't. I'm assuming that you did not believe me. Going back in with my foundation sponge to just, you know, soften and whatever. I should probably address this nose contour, huh? I'm going back in with that little spot. This brush I don't think is even available anymore. It's like the Sephora Pro Shadow 15. I'm sure there's something like it, but I tried to link to it a while back and I couldn't find it. So I'm just softening that, because I had this straight line, I'm just softening that straight line. I told you it would come together. I told you! Ye of little faith. I'm gonna go in with the little Refer 14 mini. And I'm just gonna buff where the eyeshadow meets that concealer and the wing, basically, to soften this whole thing before I like set, basically. Nice. Nice. All right. Blush. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a cream blush and then reinforce it with a powder. Dude, I'll be honest, none of these blushes feel right to me right now. This feels better with the eye. I think I'm going to use this. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss and Nude Kiss 110. Yeah, I think it's better to go in with something a little bit more nude because I'm going to reinforce it with another Milani blush. I'm going to use Luminoso, you know, because this is like more peachy. Like this I like, you know, but I want like a cream base. So I'm going to grab my 38 brush, which is already dirty from blush, so I'm just wiping it off. And I'm just going to dip into this. I'm going to blend it on the back of my hand. Oh my god, that was way too much. What the fuck am I doing? Oh my god, that was so bad. I've been like experimenting so much with my blush color and like where I place it that like I don't even know where I put it anymore. I guess I'll just put it up high. My default. That's a pretty color. I just feel like why do I feel like nothing is still like there's certain parts of this that are still not making sense. So I'm gonna go in and blend that with my foundation sponge. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my nose. And then I guess we should set, dude. Should probably set. Oh wait, do I need to do any spot concealing? I feel like the foundation did such a good job of like covering my spots, but I feel like I have like a couple little areas that I should spot conceal. So I'm just gonna do that real quick off camera because you don't need to see that. And I have a video on spot concealing, I'll put it right here. Okay, before I set, I'm gonna go back in with that 15 brush and just kind of buff around these edges to make sure things are smooth and easy to blend into. And I'm gonna start off with the under eyes, and I'm gonna use an OG, where did I put it? This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. Okay, this is in light, I believe, light. So we're gonna use this to set just the under eyes, because it does have a little bit of pearl in it. And if I place it in my T-zone, it kind of makes me look shiny later on, so I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna use Nikki's N14 brush. I've really been liking this for setting under the eyes. So I'm gonna go in with my trying to make it nice and blended. And that's it. Very nice. I might end up going back to this powder. Very nice. Oh my god, I forgot how much I liked this powder. I've been using my Huda powder for so long. But it has like such a nice luminosity to it, you know? Like it's smoothing, but it has that like fine pearl, so it doesn't look heavy on the skin. It gives this like slight reflect. All right, let's set the rest of the face. I'm gonna use the, which one do I wanna use actually? NYX is kind of peachy. These are actually really close in color. Yeah, I'm gonna use the Milani Perfect and Conceal powder. This is in the shade Translucent 01. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use that same little brush, the N14. And I'm just gonna be very selective about where I place my powder. So just in my T-zone, I think. Because this foundation formula is so beautiful. Like it doesn't, there's like, the center of my face looks a little bit like shiny, so I just wanna get rid of that. But everywhere else looks so smooth and luminous. Pretty. I'm just gonna dab gently my temples where I have some breakouts, because if they're too shiny then they tend to stand out a little too much. All right, I'm gonna go in with Milani Luminoso, just dusted gently over the cheeks. This can like make kind of a big impact. So I'm gonna use, what is this? What did I use this for last? Remember this? Oh shit, is this a Japanese? Dude, I used to never remember, like, what is this brush? Japanesque or NARS? Remember they had the same brush and they were like ever so slightly different, but they were like basically the same brush. I don't know. My guess is it's Japanesque, but I really don't know. So let's use this. So I'm just gonna dip into this. I'm gonna pat it on the back of my hand. The OG Luminoso. God. What a throwback. Then they reformulated and it's never been the same. It's still pretty, but it's just not what it was. It's not what it was. So this is just bringing a little bit more of that like peach and gold to the cheek, plus like that beautiful luminescence. Isn't that so pretty? It's gorgeous. It does have like slightly larger golden flecks in it than it used to, but it's still pretty. Ooh, that was way too much. Way too much. That was way too much for my nose. Just Rudolph. Okay. That was a lot. God, this tutorial is probably gonna be so freaking long because we're doing like so much glam and there's so many steps. All right, let's finish off the eyes. So I'm going to grab that 15 brush one more time and I'm gonna dip into the tan color from the e.l.f. palette, tapping off my brush, and I'm just going to soften this whole situation because this was basically like the last color that we used to sort of like gradiate it all out. So I want to make sure that I'm just, I don't want, like, I hate how this looks like sort of rounded and it just stops there. So I just want to blend all of this out, sort of in keeping with this cat eye that we have going on. Okay, and now that we have the base finished, let me zoom you in a little bit. I'm gonna finish off the wing situation that we have going on. So I'm gonna grab my EO6 brush from Sigma, and I'm gonna go into this brown from the e.l.f. palette, which is a little bit softer than the dark brown from the NYX. I'm just going to extend this out. I'm gonna go into the really, really dark brown from NYX and just Using that same brush, I want to make sure that everything is nice and lined. So these are just like the little detail, little details to make sure that things feel finished. That's pretty. All right, what do I want to do with my inner corner though? I'm gonna do my brows off camera. Okay, brows on. Let's do a little bit of luminosity to the face. So obviously I have this like super glittery thing happening on the eyes, so I want to keep things a little bit more like glow from within, if you will. So I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This one is in the shade Zero Fair. Oh my god, that was a crazy sound. So I'm actually gonna spread this on the back of my hand like that. And then I'm just gonna pick it up with my sponge, my foundation sponge, and kind of like work it into the sponge. So I'm not going in with too much because this is definitely like it's a highlight, okay? Focus this on the top part of the cheek. Pretty. This is a beautiful luminizer. I just don't want to take it down too low. Yeah, very, 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 very pretty. Just sort of softens everything, you know? Very nice and sheer. And then I'm gonna grab a little brush, this is the Refer 13 brush. I'm gonna dip into that on the back of my hand, just sort of like buffing the brush into it, and I'm gonna just at the tail of the brow buff a little bit of that so that that area looks a little more juicy. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of that on the tip of the nose as well. And then just a little bit right in here. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's just finish off the eyes. So I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. lash curler, which I truly don't like. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm gonna use my Refer one. I can't, like, lash curlers suck. The Refer one, the original design that's like a little bit more flat, is just like, it's perfect for me. I don't want to, just because I'm doing a tutorial with Drugstore, I don't want to be forced to use any other lash curler. And then, where did my mascara go? I'm gonna use the Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. What is this in? This is a different color, I think. If I had black, I would use that, but I think this is like, yeah, it's brownish black, but that's fine because we have brown eyeshadow on. I think I'm gonna use some falsies, so, you know. I do like this mascara though. I was thinking brown mascara on the lower lash line, but I actually think I'm gonna use this since it's brownish black, because I like it. And I have to get really close for this, so excuse me. Do I want falsies? Let's do the lips and then I'll decide. I gotta replace this battery, dude. We've been doing this for too long. Hold on a second. Okay, I lied. I am gonna put on falsies. These are the Ardell Naked Clusters for $37. You've seen me use these a million times. I love them. They're fabulous. So I'm gonna start off with the 14 millimeters. Like, I'm gonna use long ones. I feel like I usually don't use anything longer than 12. Ow, 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 ow. I'm gonna use the Duo Brush On Lash Glue. This is the black one. And yeah, I'm gonna start off with 14, dude. And I'm gonna put that, I might just do like a couple, like, I don't know. I just wanna lift a little bit towards the outer edge of the eye to really like enhance this wing we have going on. And then we gotta finish this lip because, I mean, this is just tragic. Like, this is just incredibly tragic. I want it to kind of follow the wing. So I'm not putting it all the way at the outer corner. You know? I'm bringing it in just a little bit. I always have such a hard time putting my lashes in the right, like, spot on either side. But I feel like I just nailed that one. Actually, you know what? Maybe this is in a little bit far. Oh, whatever. All right, now I'm gonna go into the 12 millimeter. I almost said milliliter. I think I'm just gonna do them like one right after the other, like right next to each other. Yeah, that looks nice. All right, and then I guess we'll finish with a 10. Sometimes when you're pulling lashes off of the little like sticky thing, can't tell you how many times I've had to like sacrifice a lash because I've pulled a little too hard and it just splits in half and you're just like, you know, it's just like stuck to the sticky thing a little too hard. Tragedy, chaos, destruction. Okay, and then I'm gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna finish with this length right there. Why did it flip up so high? What the fuck? Oh no. It was smooth. It was so smooth, the application before this. Okay, I think that's fine. Ooh, that looks nice. I could have easily used like a strip lash, but I don't know. Clusters are nice if you feel like you need a little more control over where they go. Nothing about this is like easy. Despite it being drugstore, like nothing about this is like easy and accessible. This is not like your clean girl makeup. Like I've been filming for 2 hours and I know that I like took breaks to like go check in about Ziva and like grab foundations and stuff, but this is glam. All right, so like this is glam. It just is. I'm gonna attempt to just like squeeze my natural lashes on the outer corner so they're not like hanging down. Oh my god, we're so glamorous. I haven't worn lashes in a minute, especially ones that I like have to glue on myself. Okay, let's finish off these damn lips because I like, you know, they're also like feeling dry. I should have just left the lip stain on this whole time. I don't know why I blotted it off. That was stupid. All right, I'm cheating. Sorry. I'm cheating a little bit. So I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty lip stain pen. This is in Cherry Red to do a little bit of contouring. You can use a Revlon one. Like you can use the Revlon red one. I thought I had it. I don't. So I'm using Huda Beauty. Sorry. So I'm going to grab my Refer 28 brush. This is my favorite brush to do this with. And I'm going to pick up the lip stain. And yes, it stains the brush, but who cares? I don't. And I'm going to do a little contouring and overlining with this, and I use the brush to really soften that edge, and it really like helps to create sort of that like Nina Park lip look, but with a stain that will stay put. So like, yes, these are meant to be like drawn on, but I just love this technique. Doing some contouring in the inner and outer corner. Not the outer corner. All the inner corners. There's no outer corners. I guess these are all outer corners. Whatever. Stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, love. Now we're gonna finish off. Finally, I'm gonna grab my Refer 21 brush, this little guy, and I'm going to apply on top of all of this. I'm going to apply the Revlon. Oh, this is L'Oreal. Just kidding. Sorry. It has an R on it, so I thought it was Revlon, but it's L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche, Le Rouge Determination 193. I think it's the Le Rouge lipstick and the shade Determination, which is 193. Oh, I don't know. It's this color, okay? I'm going to apply it with a brush, so I'm just going to dip right in. And spread this all over the lips in the center. And this has a little bit more warmth, like the stains that we use were a little bit more cool toned. So a little bit more warmth to it. Which will be a little more flattering on my skin. And I'm just gonna blot. Gorgeous? Yeah, I think so. Stunning, velvety, beautiful, gonna last. I wish you could see this cat right now. She is just like starved for attention. She's being so weird. What are you doing? Oh my god, I forgot to put my rings on. Hold on. Okay, that's better. All right, so this is the finished look. Close up. Beautiful. I hope my lash application isn't like completely horrible. Gorge. We got all the colors going. Okay. I love that the eyes look like gold, but there's that little bit of green that just like helps to tie in that waterline, like that more emeraldy green in the waterline. I'm obsessed. But it's not so obvious that you're wearing like red and green. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes for holidays that can be a little bit like much. It's like, okay, red and green, like we get it. But this is just like subtly red and green. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this look. Hope it gave you some inspo for the holidays. If you're attending any parties, or if you just like are one of those people who gets like super glam on the holiday itself. I've never been that person, but have I ever? I don't think so. I don't think so. But like going to a party or something, you know, little holiday party glam inspiration. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope this gave you a little something to maybe try, or like, I don't know, a technique to like implement. I'm obsessed. The finish is really gorgeous, and I really love that foundation. Yeah, happy holidays, dude. I don't know. If you recreate this and you post any photos, please tag me so I can see. Also, there is a community like section on YouTube now. I don't know if, I feel like I mentioned this, but you guys can actually post in that community space now, which is pretty awesome. So if you do recreate this, or if it inspires you in any way, please post there so that I can check it out. I loved all of your Halloween looks. They were very cute. Yeah, anytime you want to post there, by the way, you can. Like, you don't have to wait for like me to ask you to post something. If you want to post like a photo that you want me to recreate or whatever, like feel free to post there anytime so I can see it. Thanks for watching, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And I'm gonna see you soon. I'm gonna see you soon. The mic is up here. Yeah, I gotta go because this little cat needs some attention, and also I gotta do the dishes. But thanks for watching. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. And I will see you soon.